Well, 24 hours later, we are in the exact same price action as we were when we left off. Doesn't mean there wasn't some upside. However, the upside wasn't that great because we bumped our head on our old channel of eternal monotony, unfortunately. This is the crazy thing is, like, look how far back this channel goes. The fact that it still respects these levels after all these days and weeks and months is crazy. I would suggest that this red candle here is a result of the initial jobs numbers coming out. It suggests somehow, despite everyone losing their jobs in the federal government, that this is the thing about jobs and everything, that all these announcements, they're all just fudged, and then they come back later and say, "Hey, you know what? Turns out our army of accountants and PhD economists, yeah, they got it wrong. So we're going to come back and we're going to change them. They were a little bit skewed, it turns out, when we released them. So we're going to make an error and put it back. But if you see right now, the 61.8% fibs 89. I mean, ideally we'd like to, if and I say if we see a dump to 89, which is a 61.8% fib, the golden ratio, it'd be nice if we got a bounce off there and continued up. But of course, what happens when we see our head get bumped on resistance? Well, this is support now acting as resistance. Well, we end up going the other way, right? Now, it can be staved off. We can hit that 61 and bounce back up, but generally, follow this thing. We break out, bounce, break out, hit our head, stub our toe. And of course, I guess the one thing wrong with this, the big issue is that this is as we state right now, lower high. Fibonacci, Fibonacci's making some noise in the background there. This is a lower high, and this will signal the robot quant AI sell algos to go, oh, fundamentals are bearish. Okay, let's put a little bit of exposure into a sell position, and that's what happens. Unfortunately, why won't that disappear? There we go. So that's not what we want to see. In fact, even if this candle closed up here, which it didn't. What is Fibonacci? Can you guys hear Fibonacci meowing, or is that not getting picked up? It would still be a lower low or lower high, and oh, darn it, it's just not good for the market. However, the title, Your Life Begins. I don't even remember what the title was of this thumbnail, but it's referring to the crypto summit tomorrow, which I think is pretty exciting. It's what everyone's been waiting for. Now, there's a couple. I got two takes on this. One, I almost expect a run up, like a baked in price. Obviously, we're not baked into a huge announcement yet, but I'm almost expecting to see that today, seen as though we have a little bit of bearish pre-market action. I like bearish pre-market action because this is basically like the bulls kind of huffing their hoof, getting ready to roll. And it's, to me, I'd rather have bearish pre-market than bullish pre-market any day. And if we see what's going to happen is that we'll see this run up into a baked in price for Friday and then a potential sell-off. But that's one side. And obviously that either goes up or goes down. But what I'm thinking too is the timing of the crypto summit, which is I think 6:30, come 6:30 Eastern, I suppose, which is market close, right? And that's significant because the market doesn't have a chance to react. And I think they do this on purpose. What's going on with Squeaks? I can't get back up there. Maybe I can. No, I can't. What's happened to Squeaks? Much love to you. We'll miss you in the mornings. You got a job that'll take you away from the stream. Gotcha. New job. Wow, congrats on the new job. Maybe there's a bunch of employees that you can orange pill. Maybe maybe you could help grow the channel a bit and share it with these people that are like, what did you used to do before you got this job? Well, I just had coffee with this boutique community online. Oh, sounds weird. No. It's a Bitcoin community. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, the timing of the crypto summit after market. So whatever mayhem occurs, we won't be able to see it play out until Monday morning. So this is what my delusionally bullish take on it would be, is that we do have some working like a jerk mode activated. Working like a jerk mode activated. So what I would expect to see is, are we going to hear anything new? No, maybe we'll just get confirmed what we already know, that they've been planning this strategic reserve. So what I think is important is that if there's more talk of Bitcoin, so what I feel like the market, if there's not too many talk of the Bitcoin strategic reserve, when it kind of gets blended into this digital whatchamacallit isms, it's not good for the Bitcoin price. It's not really good for the crypto market in general. I think it needs to be spearheaded by Bitcoin in order for it to really take off. You know why people are forgotten to click like, Terry? Because I didn't put Duke up there. It really is the way to go. Jesus, I got a little frog in my throat there. One dislike though, Terry. Someone's like, you know what? I dislike this. I dislike this so much that I'm gonna put a dislike in there. Unbelievable. Yeah, there we go. There's Duke up there. And so I'm hoping. Do you guys know if it's televised? Like, is it live? Is it got a live feed again? I find it amazing that we now live in this live streamed reality. It's almost like the Truman Show, really. Like it's, a fact playing out fiction. It seemed crazy when we saw the Truman Show, whatever it was 20 years ago. It's like, oh, that's dystopian. And now we're actually seeing it. But if they want transparency in government, everything should be live streamed. Absolutely everything. So for instance, if it was me, and now I'll only touch on this for a second. If it was me, if I was Donald Trump and I was sitting there addressing the Congress and half of them hated me and half of them, I would have asked them every time they didn't clap for like a good news story, I would ask them and like put the camera, because I'd get evil this way. It's like, put the camera on Pocahontas. Do you not like that this little boy survived cancer? And I know it's become a little bit of a meme, right? And you got to ask yourself, if everyone's repeating this, is this part of the, reverse propaganda? But he should have called them out. Like, why wouldn't they clap for good news stories? Good human stories are good human stories regardless, right? Anyway, we'll leave it at that. We know how divided humanity is over this issue. Now we see here is a shooting star candle. Right here. The day's young. You can't really call anything in the beginning of the day. But that's what it is now. Underneath the 20 moving average, we just threw a long hair don't care wick up there and got denied. Where are we on the fibs here? We are past the 38.2%. Our 50 is 90. It's 89.3, sorry. 89.3, which is close to the 61.8% fib on the 4-hour chart. If we go back there just to corroborate. Yeah, 89 and some change is the 61 on the 4-hour. 50 is 89 and 300. So they're close, but we can see how the math is lining up there. Crypto fear and greed, 25. Yesterday's 20. Yeah, kind of a fear and greed no man land. It's extreme fear, which is great. You'll hear a lot of people saying when it's below this buy, when it's above this sell, right? I don't agree with the sell, because if you are swinging the fear and greed index, to me it is a great index as a top and bottom bell curve indicator. It's not like it goes beneath this buy, but I do believe when we are in those 10 ranges, if you haven't got exposure to Bitcoin, it is a great entry period. Now, why I don't think it's a great sell opportunity when we're in extreme greed is that you never sell the Bitcoin. What are you going to do? Turn it into blood fiat currency and do what? I always have this conversation with people. What are you going to do? Are you going to sell your? I obviously I lost all my Bitcoin on an accident, but had I Bitcoin, I would never sell it because it's just generational, life-changing aspects. And we've heard it a million times about people selling in it. Generally when the retail sells, we're right about to do a leg up. And now I do believe the timing is right for a next leg up for a couple things. We have the crypto summit, and we have the summer bummer coming. It's hard to believe that we're almost in the summer bummer again. God, time goes by so fast. Just think about it. We just kind of got out of the summer bummer. Remember? Do you remember the summer bummer? It was literally April till September. Maybe even it was like 3 weeks into October. It was the longest summer bummer of me life, really. When I think about it, there's never been a harder time, I think, in my Bitcoin hodling experience than the last summer bummer. I don't know about you, but it was devastatingly boring and hard to do. I guess as like a TA guy, if the market doesn't move, there's nothing to talk about, right? And if you ever see those comments, people will leave comments on my channel. Where's the TA video, right? I can't make a TA video if there's no movement, right? I would love to, but there's no movement. So there's nothing to talk about except for the fact that it didn't move. Oh, Bitcoin dominant 60.3. So it's inching up. 24-hour volume 112. Kind of sad. And overall market cap still under 3 trillion, 2.96. So keep an eye on this candle. I would love to see 3 green soldiers on the field. That is a pretty bullish aspect. It's the reverse of the 3 dead soldiers on the field when we see all these red candles, usually indicative of continued bearish action. We do have a couple of that which once wicked will get candlesticks staring us at our. Now it would be crazy for this to happen. One last flush out today before the crypto summit, just kaboom. Let's see how far that is to, if we were to candle close today, this wick, be a 10% drop. That's pretty massive when you consider what 10% is at these price levels. It's almost $10,000, right? So it would be a $10,000, give or take $100 or whatever, or $1,000 candle in order to candle close these. And the second one, that's 12%. It's not a big move when you think historically for Bitcoin. 12% day, it's not that big back in the day, right? Back in the day. But now these moves are big because we're in the law of large numbers. If let's just call it 100K, a 12% move is down to 88. That's life-changing for most people that have been pampered by this bull market. We really have been pampered. Now here's a tough part about the pampering of this bull run. We need to be shell-shocked in this price. It's having more volatility is, I think, healthier for the hodler mindset than chop suey, because chop suey begets boredom. And people with boredom, it's just like a relationship. When you're in a relationship and you get bored, you start questioning things that you never really questioned before. Like from a male point of view, why is she friends with that loser? Or why does she her and her friends go and do have these days, so these nights? Why? That's not fun. And then you start judging them on the monotony of the relationship, right? So when we're on these holding patterns with crypto, we start questioning things that don't really exist. We start making mountains out of molehills. We start doing our own fundamental analysis outside of the true numbers. Now, if we wanted to get a little more scientific TA-wise, we could draw in, out of boredom. Let's do it out of boredom. We could draw in a symmetrical triangle of neutrality. Maybe we'll move that a little bit to the candles. There we go. Yeah. So this could, it's neutral, could break out or down. Me personally, I don't see a massive shakeout before the crypto summit. Although it would make sense on the script, right? Well, let's get everyone out of here. But at the same time, I believe these institutions have moved on from retail. Like, not that they have ever cared, because believe me, they've never cared about retail. If they cared about retail, they would let people get in at the beginning, but they don't. There's no accredited investors, right? We'll let retail pump our bags, but who cares about retail? So they don't really. It's not like in their meetings they're talking about, what about retail? What about let's think about retail. Anyway, it would make sense without any fundamentals, but we do have fundamentals. Remember, the fundamentals are huge, but without the fundamentals coming out, I would expect to bounce. Let's just put this for positive prosperity. Say bum 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 bum. Because if you look at the weekly, these little squiggles, they seem to be followed very nicely. Look at this one here. When did I start this squiggle? Yeah, right at the beginning of the summer bummer. Then we'd break up here. We sure enough broke up there, consolidate out the way up, and then kaboom. So we are. If there was any part of this squiggle that doesn't really make sense, it's right now. Although, I mean, it's finding support on the squiggle. One might argue, if I was trying to. Doodles, that's right. Sorry, these doodles. I can't start changing the jargon here at the last second. It's interesting that we candlestick the 61.8% fib, isn't it? Isn't it weird? Like, if anyone's been watching this channel not fully understanding Fibonacci's, and all one has to know about Fibonacci's, I know I've been asked, where do you start your Fibonacci's? What is a Fibonacci? I don't understand Fibonacci's. In a nutshell, Fibonacci's is just the psychology of humanity. When we make our decisions collectively as a group and historically. Generally, if I were to make a metaphor of this, bringing back the relationship boredom. So by the time I would pull the trigger on exiting the relationship, I would start having my glimmers of this is a boredom, right? So at about the 23.6% fib timeline, I'd be like, why do they go to these stupid bars, or why do they think this is fun, or why do they eat this garbage, etc., etc. I'd shake it off, and then it would get to the 38.2% fib. It'd get a little more serious. It's like, maybe this is a red flag that I've missed. I should probably dig deeper into it, and then you forget it, and then it goes to the 50%, and now, just like a 50% anything, you're kind of like at a coin flip of where things can go, especially with this relationship. And then it's the 61.8% fib. That's when I pull the trigger and I'm out. Anyway, that happens for every decision and everything you do on a Christopher Nolan fractal, on a short-term decision-making and a long-term decision-making. That's why these price action and these wicks always hit these levels almost to a T. It's quite crazy how accurate it is. That's why I never really deviated from support and resistance and Fibonacci's. Now there's a ton of indicators you can get, but it just clouds your charts. I mean, you can get that analysis paralysis when you have too many indicators telling you things. Like, I keep the MACD and I keep the RSI just to get an overall 30,000 foot over, like when the RSI becomes overbought. I mean, it's just telling you that there's a potential here. It doesn't mean it's going to completely change. There's a potential here that the bears have lost the steam oversold. And then when it gets to the top and becomes overbought, it's saying that generally, historically, this is where the bear or the bulls tucker out. And so to me, they're all lagging indicators at the end of the day, right? So I've always likened technical analysis and indicators to sports commentators. Gretzky just passed the puck to Messier. Then Messier passes the puck to Anderson. And then the guy says, Messier just passed the puck to Anderson. Anderson back to Gretzky. This is the 80s sports commentator. Gretzky back to Messier. Messier to Curry. Curry. And now I bet Sneaky Pete knows all these players. Anyone in Canada knows the 80s lineup for the Oilers. Yari back to Messier. Messier to Anderson. Anderson to Gretzky. Gretzky, Schertzy, Scars. But they're just talking about where the puck is going and where it's been, right? These are lagging indicators. That's why I always say the less indicators you use, the clearer your shot at technical analysis is. And to me, I only use technical analysis to tell me where we may go. I think predicting the market is a fool's errand to a certain degree because it'll always do usually what the majority of the punters are expecting. So that being said, the majority of the punters would expect this crypto summit, including me, and putting myself in this crypto summit to be the next leg up. It begins today. That's what I just caught my title here. It begins today. Yes. So what I mean by it begins today is that we will either see the baked in aspect of the crypto summit start coming, right? And I would think that it would happen probably around bell time, 8:30, which is in about 8 minutes. Terry Crow, I had a roomie in the 80s that made me pick a favorite NHL team, Oilers. Yes, I remember it was quite a big deal. And I think I've told this story before, but my dad was a rock and roller back when I was in grade 1. And so at that time, he practiced in the basement. So is this, you know how generations kind of do the same thing now? You know, I was in a band probably because of that. But his singer was this woman named Vicky, I think. Vicky, I've told the story before. Now it's getting a little cloudy. And her boyfriend came to pick her up. And this is why, you know, my life is very Forrest Gumpian. Vicky's boyfriend, when I was in grade 1, was Wayne Gretzky. And so ding dong, there's Wayne Gretzky. Hi, is Vicky here? Yeah, she's just singing in the basement. This isn't me, obviously. I was probably, wandering around trying to eat garbage out of the fridge because as an 80s kid, you didn't have a bedtime. You know, you crashed out on the floor on the shag carpet, right? And so he came there, and it wasn't. We weren't a big deal type of family. We didn't really care, even though we actually lived in Edmonton in that year. And he signed his rookie, it was 80-81, his rookie schedule with his picture on it of the Edmonton Oilers. He signed it, and we never really took care of it. It ended up, you know, in my closet year after year besides my karate suit and trombone and whatever instrument I wasn't playing. It just kind of moved with the, you know, hobby orphans that is like, oh, I might pick that up. Oh, I might do that again. And then one day we realized the potential value of this rookie year Wayne Gretzky signed thing. And by that time, it had almost disintegrated into nothing. I just called Duke. Yesterday we could have had Duke come up. But my finger just went and pressed end. I don't know why. I hadn't looked at the like, so we'll wait a second. Did he put his headphones back? Oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get it if he put his headphones back on. I'm going to go get him. Look, watch his face. Oh, I hear him. I hope I'm not like unmuting and yelling and then muting and not yelling. Whoa, that was close, buddy. I thought you had your headphones on or something.
I didn't. I just needed to get into a safe place so I wouldn't die.
What do you mean?
In Fortnite.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, well, guess what? E-Money says this Minecraft isn't going to build itself. What are we going to sing for the group here on the day before the crypto summit? I haven't seen any requests, so it's.
Let's do some noodles, aka start with G for man. Let's do some noodles, aka
Tib's doing? Whoa, sorry, I thought you were falling off. Good job, buddy. Let's do one more before we sign off here. This feed will take you right to the beautiful and vivacious Randy Hipper's live stream. Let's do Loneliest Lamborghini.
The loneliest Lamborghini in the world. I know my life will never be the same. I'll drive the loneliest Lamborghini in the world until the day I die. Until the day I die. There's only so much money in the world. You got to get it while you can.
Nice swing.
I tried to tell them, but you just can't save them all. The minds are blown. The church is blown. 'Cause that's why I own the loneliest Lamborghini in the world. I know my life will never be the same. I'll drive the loneliest Lamborghini in the world until the day I die. Until the day I die.
Can you go get Fib? Can you get? He's gonna run away, but can you grab him? Tell me if you can grab him. Okay. See, Fibonacci is like water. It's like he's half Siamese, so he's like Bruce Lee's water. Like you go to pet him. He wants to be pet. You go to pet him. He'll hey, no. And he'll come back. It's like no, I'd like you to pet me. But you're not gonna touch me, right? So it's a little bit of an annoying little psychopathic cat. Thank you very much for the likes and the shares and the support on this channel on a Thursday morning. I hope everyone has an unbelievable day.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share this